Ever since Trump got into office, liberals have been trying desperately to get to him impeached, where they continue to push the ridiculous nonsense that Trump colluded with the Russians in order to win the election. As the hysteria reaches a fever pitch, with Mueller's unlawful investigation continuing into our president, a scandal involving Obama's actual collusion with the Russians is surfacing, revealing a disgusting pact Obama and Putin made to ensure the freedom of an extremely dangerous terrorist who was responsible killing countless Americans. Despite zero evidence of Trump colluding with the Russians to steal the 2016 election, liberals keep beating this horse to death. There is, however, hardcore evidence proving that Obama colluded with the Russian government in order to ensure the freedom of Muslim terrorist who was behind the deaths of many Americans, all in order to appease Iran and secure the treasonous deal Obama made to put them on a path for nuclear weapons. The Daily Wire reports. A little-noticed bombshell report from Josh Mayer of Politico reports that Ali Fayyad, a Lebanese arms dealer and suspected top Hezbollah operative whom agents believed reported to Russian President Vladimir Putin, was captured by the Czechs in 2014. Fayyad had been indicted in the United States already for planning the murders of U.S. government employees. But the Obama administration did nothing to push for extradition. Instead, Fayyad ended up in Lebanon, where he's back at his terrorist work. He's particularly active in supply weapons to the barbarous Syrian regime. According to Politico, administration officials also blocked or undermined their efforts to go after other top Hezbollah operatives, and when Project Cassandra agents and other investigators sought repeatedly to investigate and prosecute Abdullah Safieddine, Hezbollah's longtime envoy to Iran, whom they considered the linchpin of Hezbollah's criminal network, the Justice Department refused. In other words, working with Russia in order to swing the Iran deal trumped the prosecution of people responsible for continuing murder, including murder of Americans. This isn't the only evidence of Obama collusion with Russia, of course. In 2012, Obama was infamously caught on tape stating that he wanted Vladimir Putin to grant him some breathing room on missile defense, pledging more flexibility after his election. So we know that Obama was willing to collude with Russia on foreign policy to affect both his re-election effort and to implement his Iranian deal. But we're supposed to be worried that the Mueller investigation is focusing on the Trump transition team after the 2016 election. Chillingly, this is only a small fraction of shocking information too emerging from Obama's deal with Iran. Not only did this treasonous president work with the Russians to ensure the release of this Muslim terrorist to appease Iran, but Obama turned a blind eye to Hezbollah's drug trafficking and money laundering operations, some of which were unfolding inside the United States, to help ensure the Iran nuclear deal would be finalized. Dennis Michael Lynch reports. A project led by the Drug Enforcement Administration, known as Project Cassandra, reportedly targeted the Lebanese militant group's criminal activities, which included gun and drug tracking equal to $1 billion, but by tossing a string of roadblocks holding back the project. Obama administration officials helped Hezbollah to grow into a major global security threat, bankrolling terrorist and military operations, the report added. In conducting its report, Politico spoke with former Obama administration officials who were involved with the anti-Hezbollah efforts. They claim Obama and his team stopped the U.S. task force from bringing down the criminal network. When Project Cassandra leaders sought approval for some significant investigations, prosecutions, arrests and financial sanctions, officials at the Justice and Treasury Departments delayed, hindered or rejected their requests. But it gets even more outrageous. Aside from turning a blind eye to Hezbollah's drug trafficking and money laundering operations and freeing a terrorist who killed Americans, what has never been discussed by the media is how Obama committed money laundering when they transferred this $1.7 billion to Iran, veteran AF reported. Essentially, what President Obama authorized was for funds to be wired from the Federal Reserve Bank in New York, converted to Swiss francs, and the money was then moved to a Swiss national bank. Once this was done, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York withdrew the funds from the account and then physically transferred the money to an official from the Iranian central bank who was waiting on a tarmac in Iran.